Thickosaurus Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Thickosaurus Podcast. I am your host today, Melissa, and we have the lovelies,
Molly.
Anna.
And again, if you guys know, you know, but Michelle is on hiatus for right now. So you have just us three lovelies today. This is episode 134, and it's my episode. And I want to dive into hot takes. I know we did like a little bit of this the past few episodes, I think, but I kind of want to dive a little bit more into these hot takes because there's some where I was kind of like, oh, that is a hot take, a pretty hot take. But I don't know if I want to go that deep yet into the hot take, but so let's just start with like a warm hot take. A warm
Like a lukewarm?
Yeah. You know, a little
Okay.
bit more friendlier, you know. Something easier to digest before we go right into
Easy
like,
and friendly with Melissa. I don't know about
yeah,
that.
before, okay.
The next
Okay.
thing you know, pa! Got hit in the neck by Melissa.
Yeah. So we're gonna go nice and slow first. Okay, nice and slow. So these are funny hot takes. So the first one is goldfishes are the most useless pets.
That's so mean. I would say that's a crazy hot take.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys not?
Wait, goldfishes are what?
Goldfish are the most useless pets.
I wouldn't say the most useless. They're the most easier to maintain.
I've seen videos where they teach their fishes tricks.
Yes.
So I'm like,
But are those goldfish, though?
I don't think so. But
All I think of is like Elmo, where Elmo has a pet goldfish, but it's always a different goldfish every time, every episode.
right.
I think, I wouldn't say useless, but it's the most basic to start. Or like the perfect starter pet.
I don't know. I just feel like a pet in general is just hard. So I don't know if there's like a most useless pet. I don't think so.
I think if, like you said, if you were really into it, you would teach your fish stuff.
I don't know. That's kind of like it's on the same level of like, dang, I don't want to sound mean, but like it's kind of like on the same level of like a snake. Snake's a useless pet too. It's just there
Well, how does it qualify as
being
useless?
useful.
Yeah, useful versus useless.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
Based off being a past fish owner, I mean, all you can do with it is just stare at it and talk. And if you are those type of people who like to talk to their pets, at least fish-wise, then go for it, you know?
this is where we need Michelle because Michelle keeps fishes.
But it's a hobby for
But
herself.
she's gonna say
yeah.
they're not useless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
I
this
don't
is
think they are. To
I don't think so
answer it,
either.
Generally, I don't think they are. But that's just because I kind of have like a Buddhism outlook at life, that there's no life force that's useless. So that's why I'm kind of like, that person, what did the fish do to you?
Yeah,
For you to
'cause-
say they're useless.
I guess if they're comparing it to like a dog where you can do stuff with the dog, then that makes sense. While the fish you can't. I mean, you can just like wheel it in on the
but
wagon,
dogs
you
can
know?
be useless too. You seen those those dogs where they just
They're sassy.
lay around and they don't do anything.
Yeah, but you can actually like interact with it. You can touch it. You can
That's true.
clean it. You can.
But that's why I said comparing
play
it to
with
like a
it.
snake, it's just gonna be
It's in its enclosed.
in its closed
Enclosed
area
cage.
unless you take it out.
which is it's interactive compared to fishes, but they're
You can
not.
do that with the fish.
Not for long.
It has to be like a portable.
If it's like
piece.
unless it's like a mud skipper, then yeah, you can play with it because it can be out of the water.
I'm just
I
gonna
don't
say no as useless. That's why
Yeah.
I say I don't think they are.
But yeah, in the context, it just depends what they determine as useless.
As your family says, it depends. It depends.
Oh gosh, that's funny. But oh, I don't know. The next one is reading the book isn't always better than watching the movie.
Is that person illiterate? Man, I'm starting to wonder.
I think
No.
it depends. Honestly,
Read it again.
Reading the book isn't always better than watching the movie. No.
I would say no, but like if it's like the book is not like or the movie is not by the book and it's just kind of its own thing, then maybe that'd be different. It's kind of like comparing the Resident Evil game franchise to the Resident Evil movies kind of thing, where it's two different things. Some kind of like that.
I guess, but that's not a book though.
Okay, then
That's a game.
Then like Percy Jackson and his series, where the movies were still pretty good, but it didn't go off. It wasn't correct. Book correct by the. It wasn't correct by the book timeline wise.
Yeah, so meaning that it's not always better than watching the movie. Reading is not always better than watching the movie.
Depending, yeah, but it just depends if you like preferred the book more or the movie more. Kind of, it's just. It really depends on the person.
I always find that like if they preferred the movie over the books, either they just prefer to consume it via movie, or they just, for lack of a better word, didn't have a really good imagination. So that's why the books weren't as good as the movies.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the only understanding that I have from this to agree with this is because they saw the movie first,
Yeah.
and so they think that that's like so good because it's the movie until they read the book, and then they're like, oh, yeah, they missed a lot of parts in the book.
It's it's kind of like I think was it Liam where when he reads I don't is it him when he reads he can't really imagine how everything
Yeah, and that's
is.
what Emma says, lack of
Yeah.
imagination.
And like for us when I read the books, yeah, I picture everything and I reenact everything in my mind.
Because I always hear like when people make movie adaptations of books series that are very popular, the people that have been actually reading, or I should say the fans of the book, would always say, it's not as good as the books. It's not as good as the
Yeah.
books. And I feel like there's a reason why. It's because everybody's imagination is different. So when you compare your imagination to movie adaptations, of course it's going to be better for you and from in the book versus the movie, because your mind imagined different things. And there's only so many things you can do in live action adaptations, honestly. Like kind of like anime to do like live action. It's really hard to actually kind of do the same thing in person or like in live action, unless they do it like in One Piece right now. Like it's really good. I wish you guys would watch it.
Unless you're like those Japanese people who do live actions and they include all the cringe stuff, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that has to stay in the anime. I'm sorry.
Like the only book to movie that I really, really love and that I really, really like because it did follow the book. I mean, yeah, there were some details that were like a little bit off, but I don't think it caused such a big commotion would be Holes. I think that's such a great book to movie adaptation. Same with Flipped.
Yeah.
Flipped is a good movie adaptation as well. Again, the only thing in Holes is that he's supposed to be a big guy. That's why he's called caveman in the movie. But in the book, he's big. But I think that's pretty much it. But I think those two are probably like the really good young adult book to movie that I like. But I do agree with this though. Reading the book, oh no, disagree. Wait, reading the book isn't always better than watching the movie.
You
No,
would
I
disagree.
disagree. Yes, I disagree. I think reading is better. So, sorry.
But then again, I don't know how it is nowadays. Have kids these days if they read?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They have no imagination these days, and they solely rely on content to visualize stuff, which is like, that's so sad. And that's the generational differences between us and the younger generation. But yeah, that's my answer. Sorry. Don't agree to the hot take. So, next one. Paper books are better than ebooks. I agree. I like paper books. I like to feel
What's
the
in
book.
your hands?
Yeah, I like to highlight and all that
I'm not
stuff.
much of an ebook. I'm more of an audio book versus the ebook. Like if I'm going to read it, I'd prefer to have it in my hand, but I don't mind listening to it.
Right.
Yeah.
You, Molly?
I would prefer the paper, but it's been a while since I had a paper, like reading from an actual paper book. I've read in ebooks before, but it's been a while as well. But I would still prefer the paper.
Mm-hmm.
But audiobooks, yeah, I like audio because I can do other stuff, but I can multitask is what it is.
I'm still visualizing it.
Yeah,
I'm using my
yeah.
imagination.
I'm visualizing what they're talking about, but I'm also doing stuff at the same time.
Okay.
Like, remember that one audiobook smut that I was telling you guys about?
Uh-huh.
Where she's, her blindfold gets pulled up and it's her boss?
Yeah.
And I imagine that I'm watching this happening and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's why I like audiobooks, but I do like paper books too.
Yeah, I can't do ebooks. Like, tried doing it on my phone, and then I didn't like that. And then people were like, well, go get a Kindle. And I'm like, why would I spend so much money on a Kindle? I mean, yeah, I get it. It's easier, like, for portability and stuff. But I'm like, why am I going to spend hundreds of dollars on a Kindle? $50, $60.
It's up to you. There are
Yeah.
some people that I know that they like
They love that.
books in all forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but personally for me, I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, it's like, I like the book for me personally. I'm just old school. I just like it a bit better. Next one is, audiobooks count as reading.
That's fucked up. We just talked about it.
Yeah, it's like, no, I do not.
You don't think that they count as reading?
No.
So then what about when you used it for
Reading
your
is when you're looking at words and reading.
Okay.
You're listening.
So you're saying you're saying that it doesn't
Audiobooks
count.
does not count as reading. No. When they tell you go read at home, when they tell your kid go read at home.
Well, I was just asking because you're being technical. Then you're saying it is not reading because it's an audiobook.
Yeah, no, it is not
listening.
reading. It does not count as reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I could say that.
Because, yeah, when you go to school and the teacher says you have to do 20 minutes of reading at home with your kid, what are you going to do? You have to sit there and read the book.
Yeah.
Word for word, right? So,
Yeah.
no, I do not count audiobooks as reading.
I think for me it depends on the context, because I know that some people consider it as reading if they can't, or not reading considered, but like if they're trying to get so many books done, and some of them read the books, or some half of it's read and half of it's listened like through audiobook. But yeah, I mean, I could see your point.
Sorry, I didn't mean to come out as so aggressive, but no, I don't count that as reading. So then do you count it as reading then, Anna?
It depends on the context, because there's some
Okay.
people where they say that they prefer to actually read, or they actually just listen to the book. So for me, I would say depends on the context. Like I had a situation where I couldn't rent out a book to read, but then I could find the audiobook really easily, so I listened to that and I counted that as my like reading list to go through. So
I would say for reading audiobooks, I would consider it read if I've listened to the whole book already and know the full context of the book.
so you count it as if you already read the book, physical
yeah, you
book.
no, like
Or-
you finished the audio book of the whole book, so you are aware of what the book's about.
Oh yeah. I would say that I've
Yeah,
read
but
a
if
couple
you're like
of them.
halfway or like in like a little bit of it, I would just be like, I'm even like if someone asks if I'm reading, like I'm listening to an audiobook, but I don't refer it to reading
Oh yeah,
until
I mean,
it's complete. Then I'm like, yes, I've read this through an audiobook.
yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's for personal. But for like you, where you said if it involves children, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Because that's
Like I'm going.
that's educational, where you do have to do the original reading.
I'm going like technicality wise. That's not reading, because reading is to help with your vocabulary. It's help to do sight words. It's help to do all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like
For
audiobooks is
educational
not-
stuff like that, yes, that it
No.
wouldn't consider it. But like for your own pleasure and stuff, then yeah, that'd be fine for audio.
Yeah, I can see, but I can see what you're saying though, because you're saying like the actual definition
Yeah,
of
that's
Yeah.
reading is not the same as audiobooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I
so
hear what
yeah.
you're saying.
So yeah, I do not count that as reading. The next one is camping is pretending to be homeless for fun.
My short answer is no.
No,
Because I do
did
that
not.
recreationally to enjoy the
I would say
nature.
no too, because it
Yeah.
depends who. To be honest, it depends who you are and how you plan camping. Because just seeing the Korean people when they camp,
They glamp.
it's like like some upgraded camping
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
glamping.
They
Yeah.
glamp. They don't actually camp.
Like they bring kitchenware, they bring ramen to eat for camp like stuff. Because even I asked Rod too, and he's like, yeah, we bring cup ramens with us to camping. And I was like, what? It's like we just eat sausages and we just eat meat and rice.
Yeah.
But
And
everybody's
whatever we
definition
catch,
of camping
yeah.
is different
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Because he would tell me where they go camping. Yeah, they bring a lot of stuff with them.
I heard it's fun when like I'm online. I've seen like when Hispanics camp,
Yeah.
they always like they bring a lot of food and it looks fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how many times he's done it, but from what he's told me in the past, yeah, that's what they always do. They brought a lot of food and stuff, and I just
Ooh.
told him how we did it. We literally are just surviving off meat, rice, and whatever they decide to catch in the river. And like we'll occasionally have like snacks too, but that's basically what we would rely on. He's like, no, we'll bring sodas, they'll bring beers, they'll bring other stuff.
Oh, I can't imagine carrying all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm camped out. I would not choose to go camping anymore.
Well, if I
For
were to
fun.
camp, I would want to glamp.
Yeah, glam.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like how when we used to hardcore camp all the freaking time.
Yes,
no.
when you guys had to bring your own water source.
Yes. Couldn't take a shower, couldn't do anything. And we were out there for like a good 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that with technology, they actually have it now where you can have like a portable shower. You just have to have a bucket and then like water.
Yeah.
And then like
What they do at Coachella?
What? Like, what
Some
do they
people
do?
do that at Coachella.
Yeah, where they get like a big old those big 5-gallon buckets filled with water, and they stick one side of it in
Yeah.
there, and then
Yeah.
the shower head comes out on the other side.
Yes.
People, I think
Yeah.
I heard that people would purposely buy like 10 parking spots so they can do a little tent, and then they have sections for their friends where they can sleep, and then where they designate certain areas for.
Although I have to say, when we went rafting camping with our college friends, yeah, that was pretty fun. I mean, yeah, that was pretty fun.
That
but
one
would I
we
ever-
had to like rely on the facilities that are in the national park.
Yeah,
If we were lucky, if they had one. If not, we were bathing in the lake.
yeah. Or if we didn't make it to there, we just had to get off the river, pitch tent,
Yeah.
camp there, and then the next morning we go.
I still can't believe that was like the graduation gift I gave myself, but it was still fun.
It was
I
still
still
fun.
enjoyed
Yeah.
it a lot.
There was a lot of
A lot of
drinking.
dumb mistakes.
Yeah, a lot of fucking drinking, and I'm just like, God, thank God that we kind of like stopped halfway through because I was like, I can't do this no more. I cannot do this. But no, that was fun. But no, I'm going to disagree on this hot take. Next one is naps should be mandatory.
I agree.
Mandatory.
I agree. That's how we can like heal our bodies and you know, live longer, because like when you get older you don't sleep much already, and so maybe sleeping while you can still try to take a nap, I should say taking naps when you're younger, I think that we should probably make it a habit, so that will hopefully just prolong our life.
I would say it would depend on the age. I would say younger folks and older folks, yes, naps are required. But I would say those between, it's not necessary, because if you maintain your sleep schedule properly and you wake up early in the day and you do your daily stuff during the day, you will eventually tire yourself out enough to where you can get plenty of sleep at the end of the day.
But what do you consider plenty of sleep? Are you saying like
So
8 hours of sleep?
like about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
Because I think that I don't know where my source is, but I thought girls have to sleep longer.
It would depend, because even like with me with the whole like read the diet and stuff, like for me, now naturally I usually wake up like even before my alarm goes off, because of just how much you do in the day, which already tires yourself out to where it makes your body like prepare itself already for the night.
That's true, but I'm just gonna throw it out there for you, Molly. You work from home. I feel like that's a little different because you're not giving a whole bunch of effort to like having to get ready, having to drive, having to commute, having to talk to people in person. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yes, but that still includes what I'm saying, where even though I work from home, if I were to go to office, that still has me going out, walking around, losing energy. So eventually I'd be tired by the time I come home. And that would already kind of, your body will signal you that you're tired, you need to sleep, kind of thing.
But either way, your short answer is no.
Yes, because
right?
because like it's like if you like say you don't get home till like 5, and then you decide to sleep, which is okay if it's like maybe a 30 to an hour nap. But if you do longer than that, your body will shift into REM sleep, thinking that it's already the end of the day, and that's when you need to sleep for the night. That's why sometimes for people with naps, they suggest only 30 minutes to an hour nap.
Right.
I can't do
If
I
it's
can't do
needed, though.
naps.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish
Yeah.
that I would have done naps earlier in life, because I actually used to not nap at all.
Yeah.
But then that exhausts me to the point where like I would fall asleep in the middle of the day, and then I can't function properly.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Which they also include that nutrition is also still is good for that too. So like if you eat correct, like the right stuff in certain times of the day, it does help you maintain your energy throughout the day. And then by the end of the day, that's when it's like relieved, and then you can prep yourself for like your sleep time and rest time.
So then basically we all said yes, but for you it just says depends.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah,
Like if
depends on the
you're,
age
say, if
range.
you're not eating properly or you're just very stressed or whatnot, then yes, sometimes naps are best too.
I wouldn't say, like, for word where it says naps are mandatory. I wouldn't say naps. I would say breaks.
Yeah.
should be mandatory.
Mm.
Because there's
Yeah.
some people like us who have, or my old job, where it's very people focused,
Yeah.
and you just don't want to talk to people anymore, and so you just need a quick like nap, or like just a quick mandatory break where I'm like, I need silence.
Yeah,
kinda
you're just
thing.
exhausted for
Yes.
just the day. Because, like,
And
even.
then give me like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll hop back on
Yeah.
refreshed.
Because, like,
kinda
even
thing.
for me, when I'm, like, working and I'm, like, super tired and exhausted, and then at the very end of the day, at the end of the work day, I'll be like, oh, I want a nap. But then my body tells me not to nap. But you're okay. But it's like, you can't sleep, but you can just, like, lay down for, like, good 30 minutes to an hour, but you're not going to be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's gonna it's gonna make me think that you're gonna go ahead for sure nap for the rest of the night, kind of thing. Because that would mess up your sleep schedule.
You know, speaking of you, how Liz, you said that your job is people focused,
Yeah.
and then after a while you just want silence.
Mm-hmm.
There's been days where I've been so tired of talking to people, like, because I've been, you kind of, when you meet with people face to face too, you have
Yeah.
to also like no, I wouldn't say perform, but you have to put on your professional
Yeah.
face
And
Yeah,
and talk, and also kind of like also remember your body language and your face expressions. And so sometimes when I come home, like on the drive home, I'm always like, no radio, it's all silent.
yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, keep going.
Oh, I'm just saying that it's like kind of like everything's all crazy during the day, and then like on the way home it's just silence.
yeah,
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, with COVID and stuff, going from in my position, going from constantly in people's faces to working from home, there is a big shift in where my energy goes. And so that's why I'm like, it's always different when you're working from home versus when you're actually out there in the field,
yeah,
because there's so much energy you have to give.
I think it's probably about the same for me, because mine is really people focused too, right?
yeah,
Because when working from home, because I said I have the same job that I had during COVID till now, where we were working from home, and now we're back in the office.
Yeah.
And I felt like they both at times had physically and mentally drained me, because I'm on Zoom and I have to kind of perform on there too.
Right.
yeah.
So that's like exhausting. So I'm always interacting with like at least 8 to 10 people minimum during the day. And so I'm just kind of like, oh, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
because even though I work from home, it's a lot of like mental stress and emotional stress, just dealing with people, like just customers and clients and clinics for me, so especially. So that's like for us, at least for work wise, we're required to have like 2 15-minute breaks between. But sometimes for me, I'm so busy that I don't even get to use those. And then I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that.
But do you ever have any like virtual meetings too? You
Yeah,
have to
pretty
have- be on
frequently.
Zoom?
And then
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like with one ticket, and that takes me 2 hours to deal with the ticket, because one side is saying this, one side's saying that, and I have to figure out what is going on, and then I have to speak to multiple different people, and then call them back, and then they don't answer, so I have to figure out another way to do it. It's just sometimes, it's just stressful for a lot of the tickets there.
But I get what you said though, Liz. Instead of naps, it being breaks.
Yeah, breaks
Yeah.
is probably better to say than naps.
Yeah. But no, for kids though, yes, naps are mandatory, please. Multiple naps are
Yeah.
mandatory.
I don't want to take a nap.
And
Yeah.
then elderly, I'm pretty sure they're the same level
Yeah, y'all need
as
some
younger,
naps.
as kiddos, where they do need naps.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is handwriting doesn't need to be taught anymore.
No,
I-
it
I-
needs to be.
It needs to be.
That's why we're all so dumb.
Have y'all seen y'all's doctors' handwritings?
Yeah.
Well, doctors are notorious for writing like that. But
I've seen some that have really nice handwriting, y'all, and I've seen some that are literally chicken scratch, and I'm just
is
like,
it usually the male doctors that are chicken scratch?
no. Sometimes it's like females too, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I don't know. I wonder if they do that on purpose because they have so much responsibility in prescription pads, and so maybe they do it where nobody can forge their signature.
Sometimes I see some of those signatures. It's just a squiggle.
I just think that they're in such of a hurry.
You think so?
And so they're just like, okay, I'm just going to write very quick and then go.
Yeah, which is pretty I can understand because
Yeah.
with the way my work is, where we have to contact the nurses, and then the nurses have to be okay, well, the provider is busy right now, and we'll leave it on his desk to see whenever if he's able to get it done today, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like,
Yeah, because one time I stayed, I remember this back in elementary school. One time I stayed in a doctor's office waiting on a doctor for about 2.5 hours.
yeah, because usually because they're either one short on staff and they only
Yeah.
have one provider available,
Mhm.
and so he's running around
Yeah,
trying to get
and
everyone
so that's why I'm
done.
like, I think that's, to me, that I understand because they're just trying to hurry up and go.
Well, back to what your hot take is. I
Oh.
would say that it is valid. I saw this TikTok
Yes.
thing, or this video.
Wait, it is valid? It does not need to be taught anymore?
No, that it needs to be
it
taught.
needs
Oh, it
to
needs
be
to be
taught.
taught.
That it
Okay.
needs to be taught. So
Yes.
I disagree with that.
Yes.
Because I saw this video on TikTok, and I think it was supposed to be like a joke or something,
Uh-huh.
saying like, "Can you read my cursive handwriting?"
Yes, I've seen that.
And I'm like, first of all, is that cursive? But yeah, I think we need to do that because I think it's important to be able to write legibly. You know, unless you have like a physical impairment or a mental impairment, that some kind of impairment that would stop you from being able to write legibly, that's different. But if you don't have any impairments and it's just how you write because that's it, then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like they theorize that are removing cursive is because AI can't read cursive. Is what their theory is. That's why they're removing cursive because AI can't read just cursive in general.
Okay. I've also seen that actually writing in cursive actually is better for
your brain.
your brain because it connects something. I forgot what it was, but writing cursive is actually better, and it needs to be taught because it helps your brain something. I forgot what exactly it is, but look it up.
I'm pretty sure it
Same
helps maintain its thinking ability or something.
Yeah,
like
same
that.
with handwriting stuff. It helps with your memory a lot better. That's why when people are back in the old days where they had to make us sit there and write our spelling words every single week for like 20 times each word kind of thing, it helps me remember.
It's kind of like how they made us write freaking sentences if you got in trouble.
Yeah, and so remember how I said my old boss when he would always comment because I would bring my journals up there and I'll be like writing, or like when we're in meetings I'm writing, kind of thing. And every time I meet with him I'm writing, and he's always like, I've noticed you write a lot, and I'm like, because I have to take notes and it helps me remember stuff. And he goes, there should be a study on that, and I'm like, sir, it's already proven on that. That's why we did it when we were younger. It helps you remember stuff because you're sitting there having to think and look and all that stuff. You know, analytical wise, that's
I think
It
it helps
is.
with. Well, for your situation, it helps with like memory.
yeah, and it helps me focus.
Yeah. And then I think that just back to what you were saying about cursive, it's probably just a lot about like motor skills if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's fine motor skills because of all those letters that you have to write. So,
Yeah.
oh man,
So
that's some crazy hot takes.
That's some dumbass hot take, dude.
Yeah,
No.
because I was like when I found out about the cursive thing, and I was just like, oh, that makes sense because AI wouldn't be able to recognize the
that does make
letters.
sense. But I feel like people don't know how to write now anyway, so it's basically cursive because people don't know how to write. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how funny how people think that it's weird that when I'm typing, I glide for letters, and they find it weird, and I'm just like, why? It's just easier to slide, you know,
Oh, yeah.
instead of just individually sometimes.
Let's see here.
At least I remember how to write cursive.
Yeah,
Some of them.
me too. My handwriting is like both, a mixture of both. It just depends on what.
You're a serial killer, apparently. If you have that handwriting.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, the internet.
It's like, it's not cursive. I just connect my letters sometimes.
Yeah, like it'll be.
It's not like the
both.
proper, the
Yeah.
proper cursive letter.
Like my R's though, my R's will always be R's. It will never be a cursive R unless I'm doing it on purpose. But no, my R's will always be a regular R.
That's like our mom. She writes in cursive a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her handwriting.
Mhm. And so that's why I kept telling her, it's like you need to start writing, Mom, to
Help
put
your motor
that motor
skills.
skills back in.
And let your hand, like, work out your hand.
Yeah. So the one that I had that was kind of a hot take, because I'm like, ooh, I see both sides. I don't know where I stand. Is this is for women, us women. This is about babies. Okay. I didn't write down the full hot take because I was listening to somebody else talk about it, so I kind of wrote down a little bit of what they were talking. So hopefully, present Melissa will understand what past Melissa was writing, because I wrote this really quickly at work when I was listening to random stuff. Okay, so I think the hot take is it okay, or what is your take on aborting babies with disabilities? That's like the hot take. Okay. Because there are women out there who, when they find out that their baby has a disability, they choose to abort them. And so that's kind of a hot take. So that's the hot take. Aborting your baby with a disability.
Well, I feel like that's misleading because when you abort, they're not a baby yet.
Or what pregnancy? Okay, your
Pregnancy?
pregnancy.
Oh.
Like if
Aborting
they have like
your
a
pregnancy.
risk, like a risk of a disability, or they confirm that it's.
They confirm that this baby is gonna, or this, your pregnancy right now, if your baby is born, it's gonna have a disability, and they can do that. Okay, people, you can do that.
I would just say that it really is not. I'm not on either side because it's your body, so you can make a decision. Whatever.
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
was
do.
gonna say it. We have no say as the viewers or the outside party. It really depends on the mother if she's willing to either abort or accept the child. Because if accepting the child, she's already aware of what's going to be happening to the child and how much money is going to be involved with the child, and just how much it takes to take care of the child, kind of thing.
Okay, it's yours. You're pregnant. You find out that it's gonna have a disability, like a lifelong disability, where somebody's gonna have to take care of this child when you're not there. What do you do?
Is it my first child? Or
Yeah, it's your child
Well, I'm saying, is it
right
my,
now.
Right
Yep,
now?
Right now.
Right now, I'm aborting the baby because I do not want to have any children.
Okay.
So that's my answer to that.
It would depend on the current where I'm in currently.
Well, right now.
Right
she's saying
now.
Right now.
Well,
You're
right
pregnant.
now, then no, because like Anna said, right now I'm not in.
I made the executive
Yeah, I'm not in
decision
the.
that
Yeah, I'm not
going
in.
to have any children right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really like at the stage of where I want kids at this point.
So whether you got pregnant with a normal pregnancy, you would still abort it.
With a normal pregnancy?
Yeah, because you said that if you are pregnant right now, you would abort it because you're not where you want to be at
Well,
right now.
if I had just in general, if I had a child, I still wouldn't abort it. But like, I'm not trying to have any kids, though. That's the thing. But even if it was a disability child, I would still raise it, though, if it was planned. Even just not disability or just a regular child. You know, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Again, this is why it was a hot take. That's why I was kind of like,
Well, what were you then? What would you do?
Okay, so I was reading because originally I was like, oh yeah, it's my child. I would still, you know, take it. And then I was reading people's arguments about it, and people were saying they would abort it because why bring a child into this world when it has such difficulty, where it's just difficult for them to be them, so why?
But they wouldn't know because they're not the child. You know, like you.
I know, but let's just say this child that's coming in, again, you have to take care of it. So meaning that maybe it has some type of, how do I say it? It's just one of those people who just have a really, really bad disability to where, again,
Right.
they can't take care of themselves.
So maybe the question shouldn't be like, should you abort it or not? Maybe it should be well, I mean, it is kind of like that. But it's like, it's more of not because of the disability, but more of can you give the support that
Yes, and
that's
so
needed.
that's what
Yeah.
people are arguing
Yeah.
that they say they will abort it because they don't have the financial means to support it.
It's not just financial
Because
too.
yeah.
Yes. That's why a lot of people are saying that they are going to abort it because they know that this certain disability that they have, they can't provide everything for that child versus a normal pregnancy where they can provide for them. Does that make sense? Because when
Yes.
it's a child with disability, it's going to be a lot more mental strain. It's going to be a lot more physical strain. It's a lot more financial strain. And so that's what a lot of people are arguing.
I can also see
Back and
them
forth.
argue that it's still a life that you brought into this world. So whether or not they have
Yeah.
disabilities or not, if you can only, that means that you kind of have like an unconscious bias towards children that have, or people that have disabilities, because a quote unquote normal pregnancy you can support, but you can't support one with a disability, then maybe you shouldn't be having children at all.
It's kind of like you having. It sounds like it's kind of like you have a normal child. You're raising the child, but then something happens drastically to where your child
that
is,
child can end up with a disability.
yes, can end
Right,
up with
yeah.
a disability. Does that change their view from what they said about having a child being born with a disability? Because technically now their child is basically in the same stage as what they aborted.
So my thing would be,
You know?
more of like,
I get it. That's why
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
But with that, I hate to say it, but with that, you kind of have to now because that is your child. Because
Yeah.
that child is living, so I have to take care of them.
yeah.
Versus
At the beginning when you could decide.
you're at the beginning where you can decide when to it out.
Okay, now my question is: these people who are answering these questions, do they ever mention that they will speak to their spouse?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And, like yeah,
And
'cause-
then it
or
brought
they
in-
just this is just what they themselves think of this. Wow, because I know some people. I'm pretty sure they just answer just based off their own personal opinion. But then while other ones I feel like if they had a spouse to talk to and like think about it, then yeah, that may be different. But
I don't know. There's
know.
always a possibility though too that you and your spouse will separate because of the child's
Yeah.
needs. So it does. At the end of the day, it's more of like, what does the mom want?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's their body. So for me, regardless of disability or not, I am not in any shape or form ready for a child. So I would not want any children right now.
yeah,
So, and I think what really, more of like, yeah, it's like a hot take, but I think it kind of like points the mirror back to like people in the community. What if we actually had a more supportive community that, regardless of if your children have disabilities or not, that you're going to be supported financially, and that would, and I think that's probably what it really is. It's it's like I know that I'll be on my own, and that's why I technically do not want to do that. But I think it'll be different if we actually lived in a world where we had support financially.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Yeah.
that's why a lot of women that I was looking at, they choose to abort the baby
Mm-hmm.
because again, it's down to us as the women to take care of it
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
sad to
for the
say.
rest of our
Yeah,
rest of our lives.
because we
Kind of
can't.
thing.
Well, that's the thing too that a lot of people, but that's a whole nother tangent where people are like, you know, when a woman gets with a man and they have children, the assumption is like if they separate that the woman is always gonna be taking the children, you know, and like
Yeah.
they're gonna be the ones that assume the responsibility for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen some online where they're like, Uno reverse, I gave up custody, bye.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's fair play.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's whoever that person is having the children,
Mm-hmm.
I support them with their right to choose to abort the baby or not.
Yeah.
Whether or not,
Yeah.
and whether or not people are going to guilt trip them to keep the baby or not, because those people will not take care of that baby.
Yep. Exactly. And then people are like, well, what if you add a dash of infertility in it? So say you had infertility issues and then finally you are pregnant, but this one just has that really, really,
I mean, I don't know.
you know,
I mean, I have fertility issues, so I can only kind of speak on it a little bit. And I would probably say that infertility really causes a strain on your relationship with your spouse and yourself,
yeah.
because there's a lot of self-worth that you kind of contemplate on, you know, what does it mean to be a mom? What does it mean to be a woman? And I read online before that there are some that just were like, yeah, it's like we went through like IVF and everything and we didn't go through with it because we ended up finding out that this took a strain on us and we can't do it anymore. You know, so we didn't keep the baby. So at the end of the day, it's still that woman's choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's still pro-choice.
It's still whatever that they want. And if they decide to keep the baby or not, you know, as long as we don't try to punish them or make them feel guilty about the decision that they make, then I'm fine with that. I think what it is that we just don't have enough support. And people pressure those that make the decision to abort the baby, but then they don't support the ones that kept the baby. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Like, you know, in this country that we live in, you need to be able to vote locally for your city government or your local government so that way you can have support. But it's kind of goes back to the whole pro-choice thing. I don't want you cannot terminate that pregnancy, but I don't want moms to have extra support with childcare or health care.
Yeah.
It goes back to that all over again.
Yeah. We're just stuck in a ending cycle.
In a
Running
vicious
down.
cycle
Yeah.
of, I want to tell you what to do, but I don't want to help you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was just a really hot take, and I knew it was gonna be a hot take because I was like, I understand both sides, and that's what it means to be like pro-choice. Where like
That's up to you.
that's up to you what you want to do, and I understand both ways on what you want to do, kind of thing. So, yeah, that was just that really
Wow.
hot take, and so I had some anime hot takes, but I don't know if we have enough time for that.
Could
But
probably save
You
that
just
for
do like
next
one or
time.
two, or
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
so.
or you think it would take us that long?
I don't think it would take us that long, but so this is more of like Attack on Titan and Inuyasha because that's like the videos that I'm on right now.
Oh my god.
And so they say so for Attack on Titan. One anime hot take for this one is for Annie.
Mm.
Would you forgive her? She doesn't deserve, or I think the hot take was like, she doesn't deserve forgiveness. I think that was the hot take.
Oh,
And if you-
I don't know this answer because I didn't. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Is
so if
this
you
a
get-
spoiler, technically, for people who haven't watched Attack on Titan?
I guess so. But I mean, at this point, Attack on Titan has been so long. If you haven't finished it from now on, or
I'm
from
sorry.
now,
Spoiler.
Well, I'm just saying for
then
people
it's
who
gonna be a
started.
spoiler. It's gonna be
Technically,
a
it's a spoiler alert. So
spoiler. Yeah. But okay, so those of you who don't know, Annie, she is the girl Titan
The
from
female
season
Titan.
1, the female Titan from season
Mhm.
1. Okay, and you guys don't remember Annie? She was one of their comrades, in the training with them training. Okay, and so Annie, she is the female Titan. So she came from the enemy side and infiltrated into Aaron's side to try to take Aaron's Titan back to their side. Okay. And so technically Annie, quote unquote, is the bad side from Aaron and their point of view. Okay. And so Annie has killed a lot of their comrades. And then at the end of the series, a lot of people ended up forgiving Annie, or they kind of, not really forgave, but kind of like pushed it under the rug, because moral of the story is that there's never a wrong side, right side kind of thing in war. Okay, there's never that kind of thing. And so people were saying that Annie should have never been forgiven. And so that's the hot take, because she killed a lot of their comrades, a lot of their friends kind of thing. And so that's like the hot take.
So why
on
are
that.
we talking about Annie but not about the other two guys?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they're probably in that loop too,
Oh.
but a lot of people were just saying, like, hot take for Annie, that she doesn't deserve forgiveness.
I was just thinking about Berthold and the other guy, like them two.
Reiner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like they're just as guilty as Annie. And I would hope that they also have a hot take for them too.
I'm pretty sure.
But I think that war just really sucks. And so when you talk about like forgiveness, that's really all for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I would personally forgive Annie, because it's just kind of like, dang, girl, you went through a lot and you thought you were doing what was best for you, and you're the one that has to live with what you did. So
Yeah. No, I agree. Because, again, like the more, when you watch the whole entire series, again, there's no wrong or right side. Especially with, like, Gabby. I know everybody hates Gabby. At first, I kind of hated Gabby, too. But you have to remember that they're just kids. Like, what, Aaron died at, what, 19, 18? You know? And so I'm like, they're all just kids, you guys. Like, they're all just a product of propaganda, all war, you know, all that stuff. You know, so you can't really get mad at kids for what the adults put them through. You know? So, I don't know. As Anna said, yeah, I would forgive her. I'm just been like, look, man, it sucks. You knew what you knew, and our comrades knew what they knew. You know, and so it sucks, but I wouldn't hold a grudge on her. I don't think. But who knows? I'm not in that shoe.
I would just say,
But
yeah, I think it's like, I think if they don't forgive Annie, I'd be interested to hear what their take is, whoever it is that agrees that you shouldn't forgive her, because do you just understand surface level, or like, because
Yeah.
that's the reason why I would forgive her. It's because I understand that there's layers.
on top
to
of
it.
that, I forgot. Annie, at the end of season 1, she froze herself.
Yeah.
So from the time jump from season 1 to the end of the series, she's frozen.
Mhm.
So she has no idea what the hell is happening,
Yeah.
except for what what's his name, Armin, is telling her.
Mhm.
So when she gets out of the ice, or the gym, whatever that she is crystallized in, she ends up staying on Armin and their side, right? I think so.
I think so, yeah, because they kept her.
Yeah, they
near.
kept her. Yeah, and then at the end, she fought to end everything,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So technically, I want to say that she not really proved her forgiveness, but
She had a redemption arc.
yes, she had a redemption arc. Same with Reiner. Reiner kind of had a redemption arc at the end.
He kind of went a little crazy, but
Yeah, but I think him going crazy like that's enough punishment
yeah.
for that, because poor dude, like, I'm so sorry for him. At first I was like, oh, he's so freaking annoying, but now I'm like, damn, he had his own hell that he was going through.
Yeah, he was punishing himself.
He was like, as what the kids say, he's believing his own con.
Oh my God.
You know, he's having a personal crisis because he
doesn't know who he
yeah, he's
what
believing
he's fighting for anymore.
yeah, he's having a
Yeah.
personality crisis kind of thing.
Mhm.
I feel like that's already just how our historical wars were too. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, those soldiers were forced to go,
Yes.
Mhm.
you know, and like I think there was a point where I think one of the wars there was a good period of silence, to where both sides were just kind of just chilling with each other during like this break, because the only reason why they're fighting is because they're forced to by the government, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like what Liz said, that they were all fed propaganda.
Yeah. And so, I mean, just seeing from that, you can totally see that they both sides did not agree to go to war, but they're just forced to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say those who don't forgive her probably had like personal, just like anger for her, because it's probably like a close friend, like it's probably like a character that they enjoyed or something like that. And they just are just that upset that character just had to die in order for the story to develop, kind of thing.
Yeah. But all in all, again, everybody was going through everybody was going through it. So I'm just kind of like, how do you have? I feel like you just get tired of holding on to that much anger, to where it's just kind of like, you know what, you do you. I don't care anymore. You know.
When they did that final fight at the end, I feel like it wasn't about sides anymore. It was fighting for humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Exactly.
it ended up being. And I feel like that's probably the core message of Attack on Titan. Is like, at the end of the day, guys, we're all just human. Like, chill the F out.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Dang.
Yeah, I have more too, but I'm like, I think
Save it for another
We're running
one?
out of time, and so
Okay.
I'm like,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think we may have to wait for the next one.
If you liked those hot
Yeah.
takes, stay tuned for
Maybe
the
I'll
next
just do-
episode
yeah,
of
maybe I'll-
Inuyasha.
maybe I'll just do a whole episode on anime hot takes, or at least the animes that I've watched. Yeah,
Be
hot
like,
takes.
like, you can even throw in the Full Metal one. That guy turning his daughter into a dog and half a dog. What is it?
I don't.
Homunculus, like wannabe.
Oh,
That was right. Like, can you imagine someone saying,
Oh my god.
I think there was a guy who said that.
He
He
agreed?
doesn't think that was wrong for the dad to do that, I think.
"Oh, he's going to
And
hell"?
I think he had stuff to back up that, but I don't remember what he said.
It's probably like very analytical. Like, he had the means. He wanted to be the first scientist to have a successful experiment.
something like that.
Oh
And
my
I think it's
gosh.
something like that.
And we have to stay tuned for the next episode of
Yeah.
Inuyasha, where Melissa will talk about the hot takes.
her.
Yeah,
But
and I
look at
think I had two more. Do I have two more? Yeah, I have two more for Attack on Titan too. But yeah, so we'll end it here, and hopefully maybe my next episode will continue on with
gosh.
these hot takes, because damn. But thank you all for listening to this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay. I don't know. Should we just go? Where did we go? It's a scene.